I've got 4 exciting winter DIY projects to share with you today. Stick around until the end where we use winter to transition into spring. I'm Melissa. This is CraftCrumbs. Thank you for joining me. For this first one, I'm using 2 of these wood blocks from the Dollar Tree and 2 snowmen that came in a thrifted pack of winter and Christmas themed cutouts. I start by removing the snowflake from the front of each of the snowmen. And this second one proved to be a little tricky, but we got it. I'll give it a light sanding and move on to painting. Both the snowman and the wood blocks got 1 coat of acrylic white paint. I left the hats the natural color for now on the snowmen. And then I'm going to use some of this rice paper that I picked up from my favorite store on Etsy. I'll link it down below to decorate this piece. So I'll use 2 different sheets and you'll see them as I go. This first sheet of rice paper has small animals on it like fox, polar bear, etc. And I'm going to cut out a few of those pieces to cover the fronts of our snowmen. Once they're Mod Podged down, I set those aside and grab our second piece of rice paper. These have beautiful wintry scenes, and I'm going to use 2 of them to decorate these wood blocks from the Dollar Tree. This was kind of an afterthought, but I decided to put them on 2 of these wood palettes, also from the Dollar Tree. Now, I kept the palettes the natural color. I did not paint them white behind, and that's because I wanted it to look like the sun was setting behind the scene. Once I have those Mod Podged down and they're dry, I'm going to come in with my utility knife and scrape off the paper between the slats. Moving back to the snowman, I painted their little top hats in a navy blue. I don't know the exact name of this particular blue, but I just went with something that matched the blues in the rice paper. Here I'm using my paint markers to paint on the details of my snowmen. I have to admit, this was the best part of this project. I had so much fun painting on the little scarves and the little noses. I'll link these dual tip brushes down below for you. They're a great value. You can rotate between the thick and the fine brushes to get the details you need without changing markers. I'm going to use wood glue to attach the snowman to the palette and then the palette to the wood block. For the final step, I'm going to use Snow Tech, and I'll be totally transparent with you. I've never used this product before. I think I saw Brenda with Rustic Lace DIY using it and thought, wow, I need to get me some of that. But I'll be honest, it was a little difficult to apply. If you guys have any tips on how to apply it, give them to me, please, and your fellow viewers as well. I started with a coffee stir stick and then changed to a paintbrush, but neither of them did a really great job. At the end, it looked perfectly fine. Here they are complete. These are just cute little wintry shelf sitters. Let me know down below what you think about this one. For this next DIY, I'm going to use one of these clear glass, or they may be resin deer from the Dollar Tree. Off camera, I gave the deer one coat of spray paint in the color white matte, allowed that to dry, and now using my acrylic paint marker, I'm going to color in the hooves, the antlers, and the eyes on this deer. If you're thinking I've seen this before and I'm clicking away from this video, don't do it because we're not done with her. I'm going to take one of these fuzzy socks that come in a pack of 2 for $3 at the Dollar Tree. I hated to destroy one of these because these socks are super cozy, but you know what? Our deer needs to stay warm as well. I'm going to cut off the bottom 1/3 portion of the sock. And then I'm going to cut a hole in the bottom of the sock where the toes would typically be. I'm going to dress our deer in this little sweater we just made and just check the fit. I was initially satisfied with the fit and started to work on the next step, but then I glanced over and realized that that sweater is just too big for our sweet little deer. So I'm going to remove it and cut just a sliver, maybe about a 1/2 inch off that bottom portion of the sweater. That's better. To give it a more refined fit, I'm going to tack the sweater to the underside of the deer using a single bead of hot glue. And then I'm going to pull the fabric that is currently laying between the two front legs and tack that down as well. Moving on, I'm going to use that strip of the fluffy part of the sock that I cut off earlier and start to trim out this sweater. And then I'm going to use smaller pieces of that same fluffy stuff to trim out around the top of her hooves to make it look like she's wearing her winter boots. Once all of that is complete, the only thing left to do is add a small piece of jewelry. I pulled out my stash of random metal pieces and found this little gold pendant piece that says love on the front. And I'm going to tack that using hot glue to the collar on the deer. While I'm making this little gal, I keep thinking to myself, I wonder what my viewers are going to think about this thing. They're going to think I fell off my rocker. But there is something about turning these little figurines, or even those wood shapes that you get at the Dollar Tree, into something that is more lively and fun. I just love doing it for you guys. Here is our little deer complete, and I just love the way she turned out. I think she might be more ready for the cold weather than I am. Go down into the comments and let me know what you think about our little fashionista. For this next project, I'm using one of these 6x6 square shadow boxes that I found at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to tape off the inner edges and then cover the words "You are meant for big things" up with white acrylic paint. While that's drying, I'm going to move on to these little pine tree cutouts that come in those children's kits at the Dollar Tree. I just love these trees so much. Every year I scoop them up and try to find things to do with them. I'm going to use my snips to cut these trees in half and then cut off those little notches at the bottom. I used black and white acrylic paint to cover these deer, so the ones that were white I dry brushed lightly with black and vice versa. I pulled a 3-inch wood round from my stash and painted it with acrylic pale yellow paint. And this will be the moon in our scene. I'm using Dollar Tree wood glue to attach these pieces to the shadow box. I wanted to add snow at the bottom of the scene to make it look a little more realistic, so I'm going to first protect my surface and use my stencil adhesive just to spray on the inside bottom portions like the ground area of the shadow box. And then I'm going to sprinkle on some of the faux snow also from the Dollar Tree. And when that's all done, I'm going to seal it with Rust-Oleum's matte clear coat finish. And here it is, complete. Just another cute idea for a shelf sitter this winter. Let me know down below what you think about this one. For this final project, I'm going to use one of these 3-inch grapevine wreaths that I picked up at Michael's. This is going to be a little larger from what we've been doing in this video, and this little wreath is going to hold everything together. I picked up a pack of these pine picks from Amazon, but I do know that Dollar Tree has them. I haven't tried them personally because I had a ton of these in my stash, but just wanted to let you know that they do have them in smaller packs. I'm going to start by laying these down across that grapevine wreath to shape a snowflake. And this is one of those projects that you may once again tell yourself, this has been done before, but we're going to add a sweet twist at the end that takes us to a whole new level. I'm using as little glue as possible and varying the heights. So every other pine pick is taller and every other one is shorter, but the shorter ones are all the same length, as well as the long ones are all the same length. Anywhere I could still see the grapevine wreath peeking through, I used more of that pine, but in smaller pieces to cover it up. Up. And then I'm going to use a couple of these white berries that I pulled off of an old Hobby Lobby branch, and I'm going to pop those in the middle. Here's where I really start to have fun. I had a pack of these branches that I picked up from Temu last year, and I still just had a few in my stash. This is what it looks like before I did anything to them. But I did go through and tip several of them with white acrylic paint to make them look like snowy branches. I clipped off smaller pieces of the branches and kind of stuffed them in around those berries. And I'm not using any glue to attach these. Next, I'm going to go in with some light blue paint and cover up those white berries. To complete the look of this snowflake, I'm going to circle those berries with these smaller pine picks. I picked these up from Amazon in a pack of 20, but I'm only going to be using about 6 here. We have a lot of different fun textures going on here. And the last and only thing that I'm going to add yet is this blue jay that I picked up in the clearance bin at Michael's a few weeks ago. And then I'm going to display this entire piece on one of these light blue chargers from the Dollar Tree. And here it is complete. Here I have it displayed on my coffee table and then on the ottoman in front of a chair in my living room. I'm not sure why, but when things are round, I like to put them on top of this ottoman. But it's not like the cats would ever let me keep it there. This could literally be displayed on any tabletop. And it's the perfect transition from winter to spring. Here's a look back at what we created today. What do you think about these fun winter DIYs? Which one is your favorite? I hope these projects added a little light to your day, made you smile, and inspire you to embrace the winter season. I'll see you again real soon with more winter DIYs, but until then, don't forget to craft what you love.